Welcome back to the Battle Arena League fans. I am Dominic Romer, and joining me on the cast for this series is Isaac Azale Cummings-Bentley.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Yourself?
Doing well.
Very nice, very nice. Subtle introduction after the excitement from that last one. But we are booting up for our next match here on NALCS 1. First place TSM taking on Phoenix1. TSM are still undefeated after 8 weeks of play in the summer split, and they aren't showing any signs of slowing down.
Yeah, TSM are definitely looking to continue their undefeated streak, but they also want to make sure that they win 2-0, not a 2-1. Every game at this point is really counting for them to try to secure that first place seed. If TSM loses to Immortals and they lose games to other teams, Immortals still kind of has a chance at actually closing that gap on them. They have a 2-game lead right now. They really just need to make sure they're closing out these series quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, and in addition to the undefeated season that TSM have, they've got another big milestone on the horizon.
Yeah, it's a really big one. 80 carry Doublelift is actually approaching 1,000 kills in the regular season of the NALCS. He's sitting at 962. He's 38 away from that 1,000 record, and we're going to be keeping an eye on the kill counter throughout this season.
Yeah, well, he has at least 8 more games to play. On the other side of the matchup, however, is Phoenix1. They've shown some remarkable improvement in the second half of the split.
They're definitely on a very heavy upward trend, but they haven't really looked good against the best teams just yet. And TSM is clearly the cream of the crop right now. And strength of schedule is also really working against them, as they have TSM today, then they have C9, Envy, and Immortals just around the corner. So it's going to be a tough set of matches for them, but they would love to play Spoiler. You know, if you can take some games off these teams and knock them out of playoff contention, or even play Spoiler to TSM's undefeated season, that would be pretty hype.
It would be very exciting. But Phoenix1, they've still got some holes to fix. However, they did manage to pick up a game in their second half of the split. So we asked top laner Zig, what prompted the turnaround for the team?
We just, it's a natural progression for us. We finally have a roster that we're practicing with and playing on stage with, versus the first couple of weeks, there was a divide with that because we were using subs and stuff. And yeah, just time has given us the chance to improve week after week. So yeah, I think it's very natural to improve, I think, for us.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, they did have a lot of troubles with subs. Now their roster is finally locked down. They're getting a lot better. Well,
they do only have 2 weeks left before that promotion tournament and will come up. But we're ready to check out the starting lineups. First up, it is TSM. In the top lane, Hanser. In the jungle, Sven Skaren. In the mid lane, Bjergsen. 80 carry, Doublelift, chasing that 1,000-kill birthday.
It's a big one.
Support Biofrost and their coach Park.
And the other team coming to this match is Phoenix1. In the top lane, it's Zig. In the jungle, Inori. Your mid laner, Pyrian, and the bot lane duo going to be Mash and Gate, with Coach Charlie here to help out.
And we have been talking about Phoenix1 showing some growth ever since Inori joined the roster. Well, this is their final 2 weeks. They've got Cloud9, TSM, and Immortals, first, second, and third place that they all have to play through. If now's the time to show growth, things might bode well for them.
Definitely. They really do have an opportunity to show that they can compete with some of the big dogs and to really kind of get that confidence boost. And playoffs may be out of the question, but getting a better seed for that relegation tournament and really having confidence going into that to make sure you keep your LCS spot is certainly something they want to do.
Yeah, but as you can see, we have now entered into picks and bans. TSM chasing the ultimate dream of going through the entire split, not dropping a single match. Phoenix1 trying to play spoiler to that this time around. As you can see, Shen banned away from Zig. He's been playing that quite a bit, and that Hecarim taken away from Inori, so the 2 big go buttons are pulled away.
Yeah, this is actually really smart because a lot of the success P1 has had in their series has been on the back of these hard, engaged, explosive compositions. The Hecarim Shen ult combo is very, very good for them, and they're going to take GP off the table here as well. So far, a lot of targeting being done on Bjergsen, nothing new there. Talia and Vladimir will be taken off the table. We'll see if it's going to be 3. And it will be Karma, much more of a focus to that support role.
Biofrost has been showing up really big on those style supports, just enabling his team to show up even more. And with so many star players on TSM, it's no surprise that something like that is banned away. But Sivir is the first pick for Doublelift.
Going to be able to take that first round. Rek'Sai another option, and We do have the second round of picks here for P1. Going to be pretty big. They will be able to take Azir and Rek'Sai away for themselves. It's going to allow the counter pick for Bjergsen if he has anything up his sleeves. We've seen him play LeBlanc into this matchup. It could be something he returns to, but already having that AD carry on lockdown.
Yeah, things looking good for P1 if they can manage to make it to late game with that Azir. But of course, Bjergsen, as you said, could be looking to shut that down with a few of those assassin picks. We haven't really gotten the chance to see Zed anytime lately. Would love to see that, but not exactly standard anymore as TSM look for their next 2 picks. Again, this is 6-14, and despite the strength of Sona, it looks like they are going to go back to Bard for Biofrost.
Yeah, and picking Gnar early here does open up that kind of counter matchup or the tough matchup, whatever you want to call it, into the Aurelia. Aurelia is not banned away, so Zig does have the opportunity to play this into Haunter, have that advantageous matchup. We'll see if that's going to be something he's looking for, because that could be an avenue in for P1 if they can really kind of create advantages in the top lane.
Zig has had a very solid performance on Gnar in his past 2 games on top of that Shen, so he's going to have to show us that he will be able to play against that style as well, as Aurelia is locked in for that counter style.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here, picking up the Aurelia and going to be locking in the Braum as well. Definitely a strong team fighting champion. Is going to perhaps struggle a little bit in lane against Biofrost playing this Bard and the Sivir, depending on what their AD carry is going to be. And something that's very untraditional is leaving your AD carry pick for last. But 2 quick picks coming in here. We have the Gragas first Ven Scare, and it's going to be Malzahar for Bjergsen. So this is something that's really been picking up in prominence, and people have been loving that Malzahar pick. But leaving that AD carry pick for last makes me wonder if they have something special planned. And I'm pretty curious to see if it's going to be anything kind of different.
Yeah, currently hovering through those rotations right now. MASH has been stepping up a lot for Phoenix1 lately. Ever since Inori joined the team, he's playing much more with those team fights, but going for a safer AD carry this game in that Ezreal. Doesn't want to get caught out by anything unexpectedly.
Yeah, and if you're saying, hey, we'll probably lose lane, we have the melee support against that range support, the harass, it's a good champion to be able to farm under turret with. You can play very safely. It's also something that kind of does excel if you get caught in those 1v2 situations. If your support is roaming, you're able to match up pretty well there, farm from safety with your Q. So pretty solid picks here. It's really going to be a lot about the solo laners for P1. That's where they want to kind of get their advantages. And MASH, you know, he just needs to try to farm it out and stay relevant.
Well, the pressure is on. Phoenix1, currently 9th place in the standings at 3-11. Looking to play spoiler to Team SoloMid at first place, 14-0. They have not dropped a single match in 7 weeks. Will it be the Phoenix that brings low the Titans of Team SoloMid?
It could be. It's been a historic season so far for TSM, and they definitely want to take every team very seriously. They've talked so much about it, you know, going into every week with a plan, giving respect to all your opponents, because although TSM is clearly the better team, they're not so much better that they couldn't lose a game here or there.
Well, the pressure is on. It's time to make your voice heard on social media. Connect with us on Twitter and predict the winner of this match using hashtag TSMWin or hashtag P1Win as we load on to the Rift. Fans getting pretty vocal out here in the crowd. Oh, I heard some Phoenix1s in there too. All right. A little bit of friendly competition as we load onto the Rift. It's TSM versus Phoenix1.
Bjergsen going to be playing with the Ghost here. Has been very standard. It's so hard to actually escape some of these Malzahar chase downs. Once he has his Rylai's, you're able to kind of just continue these chases long term. And TSM going for a little bit of an early invade here. Just trying to get some deep vision. Has been kind of pinged out, but actually, Furion getting pretty close. Ooh.
Yeah, he's cheating forward now. Nope, Spence Garen. Gragas, a little bit too big in the belly.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty close call, because if Furion comes much closer at all, that could be a Gragas body slam into a binding from Bard, and it could be potentially have been first blood.
Yeah. We saw how aggressive the early lane swaps could be yesterday. But so far after that, looks like Furion will be able to walk away nice and safe, not having to burn any summoners. No big reaction from Team TSM. Phoenix1, however, sending Mash and Gate towards that top side of the map with Svenskeren up there. Double Lift and Biofrost on the bottom side, now spotted by Ward. That means the lane swap is pulled off by Phoenix1.
Yeah, looking to dodge this 2v2 matchup. Hard to blame them. We'll see how they're going to be able to perform in this lane swap, though, or if TSM get wise to it, if they're going to try to push it out, make rotations early. We'll see if it does end up in that kind of a gameplay, because there has been more and more adaptations in these lane swaps. Sometimes teams are actually just going for one turret and then trying to match lanes if they think that they have a strong advantage. But more commonly, you do see, obviously, just kind of the 2-for-2, and actually both of them invading here.
Oh, that's Haunter, actually. Getting that other Dire Wolf, so Svenskeren will only get the large one. Biofrost trying to get some harass, gets the tiny one. He's got the auto attack, gets a second one as well. Inori has to... Oh, we already used his smite. That means they've got to scare him away. Biofrost is looking for it. Oh, no, not able to secure. Inori walks away with it.
Still, good job by P1. They actually get an extra camp on the danger side. They took the Gromp away, so yeah, he used his smite, but they get a little bit of additional XP and gold there for the team, and are going to be moving on over, and both teams fully into this lane swap. Bjergsen going to be just kind of playing it safe here in this 1v1. Does get pushed in, but not going to be much of a concern.
Even in CS, as after that initial harass, the lane swap has begun. Trading out those tier 1 turrets. I am looking forward to see if it is going to be the standard lane swap, like you said, where they look for the 2 turrets instead of maybe the 1, because you talked about the general safety of someone like Ezreal into the duo of Sivir and Bard. If he opts for a tier or even a cull first, still going to be plenty safe because he is that Ezreal.
Yeah, he definitely would love to base early on that tier. That's one of the reasons Ezreal's also fantastic in lane swap, is you can get a really good base timing oftentimes, get back with just enough gold for the tier, start stacking that right away. And in the 2v2 matchups, sometimes you just kind of get held in lane. They keep pushing you in so you can't afford to base and lose too much XP. And the other AD carries want to just basically hold you there. They want to wait for BF Sword, and the faster you get that tier stacking, the better it is for Ezreal. So we'll see if Mash is able to do it, and if they're going to hand over the solo gold to Zig. Looks like it.
Yeah, going to clear away that turret. Cut it a little bit close, but TSM, they're actually not rushing that tier 1. They back away nice and early to go for a very fast Infernal Drake. Zig gets solo gold. Hanser also does. That means that Infernal Drake being started out by TSM, double lift, being the old tank in front.
Yeah, so the bot lane duo is going to base, so that's the reason that they're actually tanking this out for Svenskeren, because Svenskeren could potentially stay out on the map a little bit longer, pick up some more camps, while the bot lane duo wants to base anyway. So very smart little adaptation there, keeping their jungler healthy. You're going to base, your health doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the first big neutral advantage for TSM. That's going to help them scale quite a bit over the course of this match. It looks, though, like the duo of Mash and Gate are heading back towards that top side, and Double Lift and Biofrost, you can see, heading up to match it.
And the fact that P1 actually didn't really get any advantage as far as tempo or anything means that this was pretty big for TSM. They're just able to get this dragon for free. You would expect the other team to have a tempo in the lane swap. You're pushing your tier 2 already. There's nothing like that happening, and it is going to be more standard lanes now as Bjergsen pushing this wave out. Once you start getting a couple levels in your E, you have that W picked up, you can really shove out the waves so safely on this Malzahar, and it becomes tough for Azir to really contest, as you have to worry about those dots bouncing over to you.
The Malefic Visions. I wonder what you actually see in the Malefic Visions.
There we go, though.
There's a gank going on. Maybe they see this.
See the future.
Yeah.
Gragas is coming top lane, quick run.
Oh, but they don't actually see it coming. Mash at level 3. He's going to have to shift out of here. Gate leaps to the minions. There's the shift from Mash, and Phoenix1 escaped.
Very well played there by P1. No panic flashes. They don't actually waste anything, so Gragas not able to accomplish too much, but it's not a big investment either. It's not like TSM were blowing flashes there. And Zig is actually just trying to hold a freeze here, and he has done it very well. Doesn't want to thin this out too much, but he's basically trying to make it contestable so that it's able to stay in this nice, safe place, and he's able to pick up this farm while denying a lot from his opponents.
Eating some big damage. There's a boomerang. He's down to 350 health. And Ori over the wall.
Hanser's really far up here.
And just bounces right back. Get him, Grump. Oh! No, Hanser just walks.
Inori really probably should have slow rolled that a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you actually just kind of wait that out, because Zig was winning that trade so heavily, you can wait till he jumps over the wall, tries to escape, and then use your tunnel. Because he did it at the start, gives Hauntzer an easy escape on what could have potentially been first blood.
As it stands, though, Phoenix1 have actually got a 500 gold lead. Seeing that advantage open up in the jungle as Inori's clearing out camps as best he can. And that freeze did go in Phoenix1's favor for Zig. So he's now able to catch back up, though I'm sure we're going to see that even out. It's still very early in the game. And this lane swap now being juggled out. Phoenix1 trying to slow roll and stall TSM here. And we know what TSM can do.
Yeah, certainly. And it can be hard for Svenskeren on this Gragas to really keep up with the Rek'Sai. This kind of Tiamat first build is the new hotness for that Rek'Sai. Everybody's doing it. Really ramps up your farming so ridiculously fast. And we actually had a matchup yesterday where Shrimp was, I think, 4 to 5 levels ahead of his opponent who was playing Gragas. And you can power farm so ridiculously fast on this Rek'Sai, you basically never have to base. And you can really just get your opponent so far behind simply by taking the camps faster. It's very low risk.
He flame horizoned him from the jungle.
Yeah,
100
I don't know
jungle
if I've
creeps.
ever seen that.
Yeah. Super crazy. But Svenskeren showing.
He is actually behind them. They could go for this. We'll see if they're going to make the call. Gates moving up.
Ooh, misses the slow. Inori gets the knockout
coming in.
tunnel onto, teleport onto the tunnel. They try to follow through. There's a cast along with the stun, and TSM are trying to walk
Here
away.
comes
Here comes Furion. Flash and first blood, and Nori gets it.
Really nice aggressive plays from P1, and they are looking proactive. They are not afraid of TSM, and it was a good initial disengage from Svenskeren, but not enough as the whole team came piling in for P1. Good stuff, but they're trying to turn it around.
Yeah, Bjergsen ghosting bottom. He's got his flash and the nether grasp. Slow on to Zig. Bjergsen's looking for it. He's trying to escape. The ghost's about to wear off. Oh, but flash, nether grasp. Monster catches up. Zig will fall.
So tit for tat, nice roll by the TSM mid laner to match. He does blow both his summoners, and Hauntzer's going to blow his flash. So it's a lot committed, but still they get the kill, and that is important. They want to keep Hauntzer relevant and keep him ahead in this matchup that's supposed to be so tough for this Gnar.
Yeah, doing rather well now with that early Joram's Fist. That's going to be Phoenix1 now completing a recall. Pickaxe for MASH, along with rounding out those utility items. Currently, it looks like Zig is heading towards that top side, so now we might be seeing the delayed lane swap after that early sort of stabilization. Similarly timed with the Cloud Drake spawn in 70 seconds. Phoenix1 might be showing they've got an idea how to play this macro game against TSM.
Yeah, they want to move their bot lane duo to be on that side and potentially contest that dragon, have them there, although there is no TP for Zig, so that still does give the edge over to TSM because Haunter has his available. So Haunter can move topside, can match that. You see Doublelift is already recalling. He's going to be able to be down here, and TSM should have the numbers advantage unless Zig wants to roam down, which is kind of a big commitment.
Now building towards this dragon, vision is going to be so important when there's so many potential picks that can happen, not to mention flanks from that Gnar teleport. Bjergsen now being gifted over that blue will certainly help keep him topped off as that will spawn. And now the duos once again meet on that bottom side. Zig, however, catching that freeze on the top. We'll see if he continues to freeze it or shove it back out. As we're getting towards that 10-minute mark, Phoenix1 still 500 gold ahead of TSM.
Yeah, looking good. Advantages in the mid lane on that farm. A little bit of an advantage for Inori, but Svenskeren has done a good job power farming, catching right back up. We have the tier stacking for MASH, so all things considered, it's looking really good for P1, but you know, stats-wise, things are going to be pretty even more even than the gold looks, because you have to remember Infernal is on TSM, and they did kind of give up a little bit to get that, which is somewhat what you can attribute the farm to.
Oh, Inori actually will tunnel over.
Pyrion's coming down.
They might be trying to collapse. Remember, Pyrion used his flash to pick up that first blood with the Emperor's Divide. So he's got to be careful of getting caught out of position. But instead, they will zone Svenskeren away, and some of those wards will remain. I believe there is still one in that Tribush in that bottom lane. But TSM secure the Scuttlecrat. They're all grouped up around that Cloud Drake with teleport available for Haunter.
Yeah, I feel like TSM may not want to start it off just yet, but they are the only ones who really have the ability to do it, and they are going to make the call to start it off. They know they have the TP advantage. We'll see if P1 even wants to try to contest this. It would be risky.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage brings Svenskeren low. There goes Malefic Visions, and Baron. It's 11 minutes.
It's a little
in.
one.
Gotta
it's a little
slow down.
Baron.
Yeah. Early Cloud Drake. That's 25 bonus move speed out of combat for TSM. On top of that, very early Infernal.
Yeah, and people have to realize just how good this dragon is now. It is ridiculously strong. It is the equivalent of having just your boots buy for your whole team out of combat with one Cloud Dragon. So that is very, very strong. TSM at 11 minutes already have 2 dragons. So starting that stacking often and early, they're going to be very objective focused. And it's going to be something that P1 will have to worry about moving forward. You can't give up too many free ones, especially with the second Infernal coming up.
Oh, yeah. Definitely going to be very important for Phoenix1 to try answering back. So we saw one proactive play on that top side of the map. Now it seems like they might want to sit back and wait out for that next big neutral objective as MASH trying to scale up, build up that tier period, still looking for that crucial 3-item spike on Azir. And Ziggs also not having the best time in that top lane. He's only about 10 CS down, but it is a tricky matchup sometimes to deal with.
Could be some explosive plays in the top lane, though, as you see Svenskeren sneaking into the bush. He's looking to set up a tower dive here, perhaps, onto Zig, which would put Haunter massively behind. And although Inori was topside, he's moved right down to the bottom. He has his ultimate, but would he even be able to get here in time? This is going to be very scary for Zig. They're not sure where the Rek'Sai is, though, so they call it off. Too afraid of the counter gank. And either way, you know, Sven is basically just sitting there. He wants to make sure that Haunter can shove it all the way into the turret, get the reset, don't allow a freeze, which is how Zig can kind of get back into it. So, you know, he's there. If they see the opportunity, they can dive. And if Inori comes up, he can counter gank. So smart pathing from Svenskeren and kind of going around the mid lane here. Period somewhat low. Is going to have to be wary.
TSM showing Phoenix1 a bit of respect in not deciding to pull off that dive. And might be a bit of a callback to last time they played when TSM took it very slow, very patient over the course of the game because they were confused by Phoenix1. They would see one person sitting under the turret and say, maybe he's got friends, so we shouldn't dive him? So maybe that respect could
they're looking for Period. He doesn't know he's on a ward. Flash available for the 10.
He's going to be caught. There goes the cask, and Haunter gets the kill with an auto attack. Meanwhile, Double Lift has rotated to the top lane. There's the late lane swap. Phoenix1 trying to answer back.
Should not have really flashed from Period. He was super dead there. Did want to try to make escape, blows the summoner, so insult to injury for P1 there. TSM gets the flash, they get the easy kill. Nice play by Svenskeren, and that's why you got to be careful about these greedy backs. And TSM pushing heavily on the top side, already took the tier 1, looking for the tier 2 to extend that gold advantage.
Yeah, MASH is on his way, but he's going to be there just in time to watch that turret fall. TSM take the top tier 2, and Phoenix1 can't answer. Now, Team SoloMid have got the lead in this game, and Bjergsen pressuring up mid lane.
Kind of been the story for P1 a lot of the season is that they make these great individual plays, but then as a whole, as that macro team, they struggle, and Gate getting caught out here.
Yeah, forced to drop the fissure, and Ori goes in for the 2-man knockup, but Magical Journey provides escape, but Bjergsen scares Bjergsen away on the far side. There goes that shield. Red buff has been popped, but TSM look to contest.
Yeah, they want to try to take this away, trying to extend that advantage, pushing up the vision. TSM playing very well as a squad here, and with Period chunked out, he has to be careful.
Shot barrage, smite from Svenskeren. Actually, no, that's Smash who got it with the true shot.
Nice.
The smite attempt. Phoenix1 are able to secure that, but TSM are controlling that side of the jungle.
The gold lead not too big yet, but TSM moves to mid off that. The pressure is just kind of spreading across the map. They're able to make these movements more quickly. They have the better vision. It's allowing them access to these objectives, and they are looking great.
Now stealing away the blue buff. We didn't get red. Well, we'll take blue. Minor consolation prize. Oh, one more auto attack for Svenskeren as he picks that up. And with that large wave bottom, Haunter has got the safety to clear that out. Essentially just trim it a little bit.
Yeah, he could even let it push towards himself, but it looks like they want to keep the pressure advantage up, so he's going to shove this in. It allows him to rotate around and kind of look for more advantages, try to take out more of these turrets, because Both the top lane turrets are already gone. Mid lane tier 1 is already gone. If they can continue to extend this turret advantage, things are going to be looking grim for P1 as they lose control over more and more of the map. 1 minute to Infernal. They do not want to give up another free one to TSM.
Nori will steal away the blue in answer, though. So Phoenix1 send a lot of people onto that top side of the map, start trying to pressure down that tier 2 while the solo laner split push on the opposite side. And as you said, that Infernal Drake coming up in a minute. Phoenix1 rotating towards the mid lane. Might try to swing bottom to collapse onto Hanser. But it seems like he decides to pull the trigger first.
Yeah, they saw a lot of P1, and Hanser can go aggressive. He's up 2 levels. He may go for the solo kill. Decides to play safe.
Yeah. Drunk down to half. Zig has got to be careful. Phoenix1 set up a death bush in the river.
This top lane advantage is getting very big, though. Up
Yeah.
30 CS for Hanser, 2 levels. Make it 1 now as Zig picking up some of that XP, but Zig is even kind of scared of perhaps the top lane pressure. So he's having to move around. This allows Hanser to just continue to push in, and TSM just running them around the map.
Just a step ahead, saying, hey, if you guys feint towards Dragon, we know it's not going to spawn in time. We'll pressure the wave. And now Phoenix1, Mash, chasing on the Hanser. No Iceborne finish just yet, so Hanser is able to walk away with no slow. But the Infernal has spawned, and TSM swing back just in time to secure vision and start burning it down.
Yeah, once again, they keep all the waves shoved out, so there's no way P1 ever actually had a chance to get any vision. TSM knows this, so they started up immediately. There's no way for P1 to know if they're doing the Dragon or they're just waiting for you to face check, so it's too risky for P1, and this is all these advantage being gained by TSM, always having wave pressure, getting deep vision, and they're playing it so well. It's kind of crazy to see a team get this far behind simply from these rotations, simply from superior macro play.
Yeah.
And the Goldie's extending, and it is triple dragons, and they're looking to add the Rift Herald in there too.
It's so crazy when you look at it. It's a 2-turret difference, but even in CS everywhere else, TSM just look like they have got such confident control. This is what has made them so daunting as a first-place team in the league. Phoenix1 trying to keep pace right now, find themselves pressed further and further back. They've only got 2 tier 2 turrets remaining after that Rift Herald is picked up.
Yep, bad goes to worse for Zig. He's already losing the matchup. Now the Rift Herald buff goes over to his opponent. That's definitely a frustrating moment. And as you know, things are not going to be getting any easier.
Well, they do have Azir and Ezreal on their side. Might be looking to scale just a bit longer. Mash builds up a large wave on this side. But again, Double Lift is already prepped. Arms wide open, says, come to me, my minions.
And it really feels like P1 has to look for team fights because they're not able to keep up as far as the map movements. TSM is just really moving around the map a lot better, getting control of the objectives, and I feel like P1, although yes, they have great scaling, it doesn't really matter if your Azir gets big, if you're 5, 10, 15,000 gold behind by the time it gets there. So I want to see P1 continue to be proactive. In the early game, that's how they got some kills, and see if they're going to be able to continue to do that, because for now, TSM is just playing it safe, playing it smart. They're not risking anything, and they continue to extend the advantage.
That next Drake will be a Mountain Drake, the near perfect slew of Drake spawns, all the ones that you want. And TSM, as expected, pressuring up all 3 lanes. Svenskeren actually is going to get a deep ward down there. They've got 3 members on this side of the map. Zig sitting under turret, but Svenskeren's 2 levels ahead. Bjergsen is 3 levels ahead. And with a 50 CS down Aurelia, he's got to be careful.
Yeah, he's only level 9. Bjergsen's level 13. That's pretty rough for our boy Zig, but he's holding on. Azir turret does get knocked down. Double Lift pushing in, and they are going to be able to take this turret.
Almost clinical play from Team SoloMid as they drop that bottom tier 2 turret without a chance for Phoenix1 to retaliate. Now they've got 1 tier 2 turret remaining as 20 minutes in, Team SoloMid are running this show.
And a lot of respect being given to Bjergsen. Pyrion picks up a QSS, but you have to think, sure, great, maybe you won't die to the Nethergrass, but there's so many other good targets. And he is the guy that we're relying on to have this late game damage, be this team fight carry, and QSS is not the item to really give you that. So
now we just stalled out that late game build.
Yeah, a lot more. things looking rough, and Baron is on the table now. It's very early, obviously, but after TSM picks up perhaps a Mountain Drake, that becomes that much more accessible for them with all that additional true damage. Double lift on his 2 items. Bjergsen very quickly going to be finishing up the Rylai's, and that is a huge power spike for the Malzahar, where it just means you can never escape from this guy.
Yeah, very strong carries out of TSM right now as they are almost getting a full item ahead. You just saw Phoenix1 trying to get some deep vision, potentially look for a pick in TSM's blue side jungle, but it was already cleared out. There were no big objectives to take. The vision has been emptied. And TSM go right back to prepping those lanes, getting that map pressure ready for the next big objective, be it Baron, be it that Mountain Drake.
Yeah, and P1, they got some vision down around the Baron, they got a couple pinks, but they couldn't defend it. So it's all for naught as TSM easily walks in, clears it all out, and now the map becomes dark once again for P1. And we have Zig heading down bot lane. He's still 2 levels down. Mash going to drop the ulti, try to clear things out. But with Bjergsen returning, they can start to just push in mid once more, try to get that last outer turret, and prepare for the Mountain Drake, as Bjergsen now has his 2nd item.
Yeah, TSM just walking into Phoenix1's jungle, littering it with vision. Oh man, oppressive play from Team SoloMid as they've got pressure in the bottom lane, mid lane, and top lane, and keep on rotating back and forth, waiting for Phoenix1 to make a mistake. Oh, cheeky steal, but that is the ultimate.
It's a moral victory. He was spamming the laugh. He gets it. He's trying to tilt him. New strategy.
Mastery spam.
Yeah.
But TSM say, all right, you take Gromp, we'll take your tier 2.
Ooh, not a bad trade.
For TSM fans, that is.
Yeah.
They do manage to get some chip damage. However, Phoenix1 are able to respond in time and keep it nice and safe. Even those Voidlings take some work for Pyrion to kill. That vision gets cleared out. Gate eating a lot of hits. Tempered Fate
nice
gonna
ulti.
find 3. There you get the stun. Pyrion's going to Quicksilver out. Inori in the front gets Nethergrass before knockback. The chain combo. He goes low, and Hanser gets the kill. Continues to chase forward, but they're just going to take this tier 2 instead.
Just playing it so smart, so calm. No overdiving having whatsoever, and TSM is playing this game exceptionally well. They are going to move to the Baron. No jungler on the map. No vision in this quadrant whatsoever for P1. It seems like it's going to be free.
Yeah, this is Baron being taken by Team SoloMid. 23 minutes. 1 kill in favor of Phoenix1 on top of those 2 turrets from the lane swap, and that's all they've been able to get. Team SoloMid has had complete and total control of this game.
Yeah, and here it is once more. Gate moving a little bit far forward. Nice hop to avoid the ultimate, but a 3-man ulti there from Biofrost. He nails the stun. That's the QSS out from Pyrion, but Inori was not on the same page. He's going in as his team is going out. That means he's going to fall, and no chance for the rest of the team to get involved as they're so low. So a lot of miscommunication there from P1, and perhaps some frustration as they know they are bleeding objectives left and right.
Team SoloMid cleaning this game up. 24 minutes in, this is now the 4th Elemental Drake. They have had control over every single neutral objective on the map since the game started. And Phoenix1 struggling to keep up. They don't have a tier 2 to fall back to anymore.
And with
have to fall back to the inhibs.
With Baron on these guys, this early in the game, it's so hard to actually clear out all these minions. They're going to have pressure on multiple sides, bounce it back and forth between mid and bot lane, and we'll see where they can carve out their advantages, because TSM is going to be very hard to stop at this point in the game.
Hanser prepping that bottom wave. Has he used his teleport this game?
I don't know. I don't think he's had to.
Yeah. He's just been taking his time walking all over the map as TSM have been pressuring mid and top without him.
Look at the turrets. They're both going down.
Yeah.
TSM sees everyone moving to the bot side. They're going to move in on this middle inhibitor turret. Bot lane getting very low, too.
They're going to go down at just about the same time. Zig trying to stall. There's the cask, and Sven Skaren with the Malefic Visions comboed. Drops Pyrion. That's 1 inhibitor down. TSM easily swing down to the second one and drop it. Goes from Bjergsen, looking for the Nethergrass. He found it. Hanser doesn't have the combo, but the rest of TSM does. That's another 2 kills. Tempered Fate onto Mash. Can they get the CC chain? He's silenced. This is an absolute slaughter. TSM clean up 4 kills and 2 inhibs.
This is going to be the game. P1 just got completely dismantled by TSM, and that is that. 25 minutes in. Thank you very much. Yes. Down goes the Nexus for TSM.
Yeah, there goes Hanser, finally getting to use that teleport as they drop the Nexus. Team SoloMid clean up Phoenix1.
Wow. Oh boy, that was something. TSM make it look easy as they lay the smackdown on P1.
Yeah.
Not much else to say about that.
Incredible play from TSM over the course of that one. And the fact that they were just so confident in each other as a team, as a unit. Like the kill on Inori where he was just a little bit off sync, you never saw that happen with Team SoloMid. Everyone was on the same page from minute 1.
Exactly. They looked. This is probably the cleanest game I've seen this entire season, I think. I think that's actually safe to say. For the whole LCS split, I've never seen one this clean. Yes, they give up a kill early, but that's really the only blemish whatsoever. They made it look so easy from dragon control to turret control. They always have vision. They always have the lanes pushing towards their opponents. And they set up everything perfectly, and it was just... It's crazy to watch.
Yeah.
It looks like hopeless.
This is the difference between the first place team and the 9th place team, and really sort of speaks to the strength of those teams and what we can expect to see in playoffs. And I got to admit, I'm pretty excited.
They look scary, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where if you're another team's analyst, you're watching this game, you're trying to find some holes. Where are they? I don't see anything.
Double Lift was 50 units ahead of that minion wave for approximately 7 seconds. That's the window.
Time.
Yes, we can try to squeeze in and hope for that one kill. But Phoenix1, no, they did still have a couple of good takeaways. Hopefully the analysts will be able to figure that out. But in order to break down that TSM win, we're going to toss it back to our analysts.
Thank you very much, Dom. TSM dominating fashion. We've come to expect this out of them here against Phoenix1. First game of the series.
I thought that was an upset.
No, 25-50 for game time there. So a very quick, very decisive game, very low kill. So this, again, it just speaks to TSM's ability to play the map in comparison to the rest of the teams here in North America, that they can win games without having to fight so often.
It's a great skill to have in your back pocket where it's like, we don't need the right matchups, or like dominant matchups.
Yeah.
We don't need to have everything fall in our favor. They managed to get the 2v1 despite having the Aurelia Gnar matchup, so they're able to dodge that. They play the 2v1 well. They get the early dragons. They never seem to fall behind in any sort of way. And the worst thing that happens is their long lane gets cut off once in the 2v1. And on the flip side, Bjergsen goes and cuts off the other long lane, so it's arguably a trade.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, honestly, P1 didn't really play bad individually, but it was more about TSM playing so well together and top mechanics, and they just kind of like suffocated P1 slowly without, like, when you force all of their flashes, they still have all their flashes. All right, guys, we got 1 kill, got tower, all right, let's go get Baron. We can force fights whenever we want, and all that stuff.
I mean, suffocation very much is what it felt like, and we can kind of see here looking at the gold graph.
Wow, look at that damage delta champion numbers. We got 5K.
Yeah. And that's this is it's very telling in 2 ways. One, when you look at damage delta champions, it's just low damage across the board, really, for both teams, indicative of, hey, we didn't fight 5v5 a whole lot. Now, the gold graph is what's interesting to me. The fact that Phoenix1, hey, we're sticking in it for about 15 minutes. And this is a trend we've noticed over the last couple weeks with Phoenix1. Their first 15 minutes of the game, not so bad. They are able to stick in the lane swap with TSM. However, TSM got a couple of their own small advantages within the swap itself, picking up that Infernal Dragon and not losing tempo as a result, which is somewhat surprising.
Well, one thing we've also seen from Phoenix1 is they tend to struggle when they don't have some of the easier initiates, when they don't have a Shen Hecarim, when they don't have an Ashe, and in this game they really don't have much engage, and you see that just by having a gold lead at 10 minutes, they don't ever find a fight the entire game, and slowly TSM just takes more and more advantages, and eventually it's too much to come back from.
Yeah, looking at the gold graph, it just kind of like, they lose a little bit for Infernal, and then it just doubles, and then the game's over.
Yeah, exactly. So here, again, we only have one replay to show, and this is going to tie back to your point about flashes and the way that TSM is, in a sense, suffocating Phoenix1. This is coming at 22:45, so only a few minutes before the game ends, but an initiation on the second-tier turret here. Great ult from Biofrost, but keep track of summoner spells here.
Right. Everything was up for both teams because nothing has happened so far in this game, really, and just watch in the bottom of your screen how all these summoners just start disappearing, and next thing you know, no one but Zig has any summoners for P1. In the meantime, TSMs are all still up. You see teams like Team Liquid or Immortals probably flash in there and try and destroy the game right there, get an inhib, get Baron. TSM, fine, we'll take the turret, we'll go back to the Baron. And then next time, we'll have all our sums and you won't. And that's kind of the difference in playstyle a little bit, where both teams are aggressive, but one team is fine tapering off their aggression once they've already gotten something out of it.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collected from TSM after a successful pick-off there. Player of the game going to Haunter in a counter matchup. He still won his lane up 50 CS. Just looking very solid. It is extraordinarily tough in games like this to pick a single player because only one person died on the side of TSM, and that was Biofrost. And he even still was playing very well with the picks.
Honestly, as a top laner, the most pressure in the game kind of goes to you. And when he got ganked, he just jumped away and easily played it calm, coolly, never gets first blooded.
Yeah, that level 4 Rek'Sai gank in the bot lane. He was very pushed up in the lane, but Haunter having the wherewithal to jump back over the wall, use the Gromp as his getaway there on the Gnar. So playing that matchup very well in general. But this, honestly, for TSM, is just another day right at the office, and that's kind of what it feels like. I mean, it's an expected victory over Phoenix1. We assume that they'll win this quickly, and they do just that. So
right, just not necessarily in the way you would think. I mean, we know TSM plays a great macro game, but you think at some point they would exploit the waves into a way to get a dive, but Phoenix1 never seemed to be there to really defend the turrets and get hard dove. They just kept giving and giving and giving until it was over.
Right.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for TSM is just to not get complacent and to keep playing solidly while not going out of their way to do ridiculous things and build bad habits.
Yeah, well, if they play this slow, the Doublet's going to have a hard time getting that 1,000 kill mark before Wild Turtle because they're going insane over there on NALCS too. We got to close out this game, though, here, so stick around because we've got Game 2 between Phoenix1 and TSM coming up right after the break. We'll be back in just 3.5.